All right. Good morning, fan. Good afternoon. Good day, wherever you're coming to us from, because we've got some international fans. I'm ElliJare.
JT.
And you have joined the No Shave Man Cave. And it's our Friday edition. We're going to cover a little bit of Smackdown.
Gonna try
What's
to.
up, man?
So full transparency, my DVR did not record Smackdown. I had it on, so I got bits and pieces of it. I think I missed the first probably 45 minutes or so. Didn't get to watch the whole thing. Usually I record it. I watch it live as a fan. I had some other stuff going on at the house, so I recorded it. But unfortunately, it did not catch the whole thing. So I'll try to help review on Smackdown a little bit. I was able to watch Rampage. I did get that on my DVR, so I was able to watch that live, and then I watched it again. But we can start with Smackdown. I can talk about some of the stuff I did remember seeing and was able to catch. But overall, to be honest with you, neither Friday show really impressed me. So
I totally agree. And I got to where I was watching the matches, and I started doodling, and I was like, well, where are they going to go next? And I don't know what that thought was. Like, are they going to leave whatever wrestling organization they're in, or like for the match, whatever. So It started out we were just kind of stuck watching a bunch of people do a bunch of things.
Yep.
But yeah, with the Sami Zayn story, with the way WWE is going, seems like Papa H is starting to sort of put his fingerprints on it, even with the big story of Vinnie Mac, looking to sell the business. It started out really good. And I like the way the WWE does the recaps to help remind you of what they want you to remember. So, and then it dawned on me, I'm like, we are a week away from Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
And
which is I just was expecting more on SmackDown. So there were some things I caught and some decent storylines. So obviously the Bloodline stuff. Mm-hmm. But as far as I guess now we have a number one contender for the Intercontinental title with Madcap Moss, which is funny. We talked about him the other day. We hadn't seen him forever, and then pop, here he is running for. I don't think he's going to beat Gunther, but
no. But I think, like you said, that's kind of like how Bully Ray sort of gets up on his chair and starts thumping his chest, like, I know they listen. And now here we are looking at Madcap Moss.
Yeah. Yep.
And aesthetically, like when you look at him, he looks like he can go. He looks the part. He's got a built-in valet / manager with Emma, and it wasn't that long ago when Emma was the top female free agent, and now here they are, almost pseudo power couple.
Are they a real life couple?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I remember that part. I remember I thought the build up to Jey Uso finally showing up in the stands and coming in. That was pretty cool. Led to a good match. And then the after part of it where he's outside and Sammy catches him. It just goes into the whole bigger problem. And it's a wrestling thing, I know, but the invisible camera. Like, oh, nobody's going to know they're talking. But all they got to do is watch the TV show. And one thing AEW does is they address that sometimes. And every once in a while, WWE does when it fits them, but they don't always. So I'm curious how that one's going to come back.
Right.
And the Paul Heyman like sneaking around the corners, listening in our conversations, all that stuff was great. But as far as overall for the show, like I said, I had it on and nothing made me stop what I was doing to go, oh, I really got to pay attention to this.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it was like, okay, it's like how we were talking about how I consume WWE and AEW differently. And I was like, okay, I want to consume WWE like I watched the second iteration, or, the second time I watched AEW. And I couldn't help it. I was just like, all right, this is my WWE. This is what I do Mondays and Fridays. And then when the premium live events come on, and I felt like I was like right back in that same wash, rinse, repeat
Yeah.
writing. I was like, man. So, but the matches were good because you've got great producers,
Oh,
you've
yeah.
got awesome athletes, and then if like I were someone who's sitting there collecting a check for royalties on shirts and hats and swag and stuff, I'd feel like I had to peel a little bit off to the Usos because they're bringing so much attention. And
Yep.
someone else made a great comment about the shirt that Roman Reigns was wearing on was it Monday or last Friday, and it was just him and Heyman.
Yep.
And I didn't even catch that the first go around. I just figured, oh yeah, that's an Uso, that's a Bloodline shirt, whatever. I was like, great programming, and it's almost like an IO campaign, information operation campaign, and they're just like inundating you with information subliminally to know, hey, Paul Heyman, no matter what, has Roman's back, and he's the only one who has his back. You're like, oh, what on earth?
Yeah. Yeah. SmackDown, like, again, it was okay. Like I said, what I caught of it, the Bloodline stuff's just great, and it's one of those things I'm going to be sad to see it go because eventually it's going to come to an end. But what are they setting up next? That's the thing,
Right.
and that's the worrisome for me part of the whole WWE part is, okay, Bloodline's great. It's been going on for 6 months. It ends. What's the next iteration of the
Right.
Bloodline? What are we gonna what's the next great story they're going to tell? I can see it being part of Cody. I can see Cody rolling into a story. Maybe he beats Roman. They build a feud out, and those two for a while. But the rumor is Roman wants to step away,
Right.
and he wants to go do other things. So maybe he loses and goes off, disappears. So who's the next top heel to start going up against Cody? Who are you going to build as your top heel?
And you can't completely abandon the lineage story, how the Rhodes family is sort of a royalty, and so are the
Usos, or
the Usos, the Hawaiian bloodline, whatever. So do you just like, okay, bam, WrestleMania hits, that goes away. Monday Night Raw is a all hail Cody, and then everybody else is just like kind of wandering around. That means you're going to lose the Usos. That means potentially you could end up losing Solo Sikoa, and he's been so steady. And I was like kind of a loss when he had the North American title. I was like, okay, well, you can't. It's not like you can transfer the title like they did with 205 Live.
Right.
Now the cruiserweight title gets merged with the North American title or whatever. So it's just, Well, I was going
to say he's going to be an interesting one because if the Bloodline does fall apart, what do they do with Sikoa? He's great in the role he's playing, but does he carry on without Roman? Like, where does he fit in the roster without the Bloodline? That's the part that's going to be interesting coming out of WrestleMania and Elimination Chamber, I think.
Yeah, that because is his character or like his makeup, is he built to carry on Solo? His name Solo, but could he get into a program where he's competing for the U.S. or the North American title? He's obviously, like, I would never see him as a mid-card guy because of the position that he's been holding. And then, when main event Jay and then Jimmy Uso, when they come back, are they still a tag team? Or are they repackaged? Does Roman come back as a babyface? And how do they build? Because when they tried to force Roman Reigns down our throat as a good guy, it just, like, everybody was like, okay, yeah, just change his gear.
Right.
Now he's got he's got a red glove or a gold glove or a Thanos glove or whatever. It's like, this isn't working. Then all of a sudden, he's who he is, and you're like, man, how did that happen?
Right. Yeah, when he decides to take time out, if he still is planning on it, it's going to be interesting to see where everything goes from there. everybody said that the real test for Papa H was going to be leading into WrestleMania. I think the real test is going to be coming out of WrestleMania.
100%. I totally agree, because now he's like, okay, I had this bloodline thing dropped in my lap, and with Cody getting hurt, I 100% think that this helped the bloodline story, because he had to go away for a little while,
right?
And they had to strengthen some stuff. So the swerves and the turns, I think that's Papa H, but the building of the bloodline and the story to where we're at was obviously Vinny and the think tank that he had before.
Yep, I agree. It's going to be interesting to like I said, I think his bigger test is going to be what he sets up coming out of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If he sets up that, okay, Cody, let's say Cody wins, which I would assume he will, huge pop, and then boom, Jay White walks out, or somebody to set up that next iteration of, oh, okay, we got some stuff going. Because Jay White lost at their pay-per-view last night to Loser Leaves Japan. Now he's already started to go back and forth with Eddie Kingston on Twitter and stuff, so maybe that's going to lead into him going to AEW. He's got some ties there with Adam Cole and the Elite, although he also has got ties with some of the people in WWE, so he could go either one.
Yeah,
he could stay independent. Who knows? And
just imagine how much fun he would have bouncing back from once Ring of Honor hits Paramount.
Yeah,
and they're up and running, and then whatever they're going to do over at AEW. And I don't know that he would fit in with Impact, just because the stories seem kind of small.
He was there for a little bit.
Yeah.
The Bullet Club made their return there for a little bit, but it wasn't great. It wasn't a huge thing for him. So yeah, I'm curious to see what he's gonna do. It's gonna be interesting, especially because New Japan seems to be hitting their stride again. I don't know if you watched the pay-per-view that just happened today, last night, whatever it was called, because they're in their time zone. But from what I understand and everything I've heard, it was really good. So I'm probably going to pop it on and watch it here in a little bit.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm going to do between now and the Super Bowl, is try and catch up on that. That's a good call. So
I heard especially the Okada match. I heard the Okada match was, as I like to do, chef kiss. I heard it was very, very good. Yep. Chef's kiss. Yeah, I heard it was probably one of the better matches he's put on. I'm going to have to check that one out for sure.
Yeah, I wonder if he was just working out his anger from getting kicked in the face by a young boy.
Well, apparently he showed up at I don't watch Noah much, but apparently he showed up at the Noah show today and blindsided that their champion. I'm ashamed I don't follow Noah, so I don't know him, but I want to see that match. I don't even know much about this guy other than he's got blonde hair and he kind of looks like him. But apparently after his main event match, whatever show they had today, Rainmaker rolled in the ring out of nowhere and just gave him Okada rolled in the ring out of nowhere and gave him a Rainmaker and took him out. I was like, ooh, okay. So they're spicing this up. So I want to see that one. Yeah. It's pretty impressive to build something like that based on just one action of one guy who made Okada break character, because Okada's always been this very straight, slow, methodical, not very violent, builds up to it, and then he goes. Where this guy kicked him in the face and it just like a switch went off. So that's pretty cool that they've built such a story on just that one little action.
Yeah, it was good they were able to capitalize that. But this sort of brings us back around to, we're talking about New Japan. We're talking about where people are going to show up, and all we had was 2 hours of Monday night, or 2 hours of Friday night Smackdown.
Yep.
Which gave us a promo, a couple of matches, and somewhere where we thought Chelsea Green would,
face amnesia.
I'm like, what on earth, this girl? Are you serious? And then you had the Usos, and that, like when Jay was sitting there, he's like, no, he's coming. He's going to be here, Us. Right. And then, he stopped the count, pointed at the.
That was a pretty damn cool moment.
Yeah, that was good. And I'd like to be a fly on the wall, like before they head out to Gorilla, just like going over the notes. Okay, say this, this, and this, but don't say this, this, and this. Yeah. You guys have a great rest of your show, because like they'll have 2 more shows before Elimination Chamber to really strengthen this story, and then
they'll have Monday and SmackDown, right? And that's it.
Right. And how you're going to get the rest of the Elimination Chamber card built. And you're not just building for the Elimination Chamber, you're building for WrestleMania 2. So it's like, okay, we need these stories to turn into additional matches because they probably have 7 or 8 matches. There'll probably be some gimmick matches that they'll announce between now and then. And
I don't know that they're going to do a lot more on Elimination Chamber. So you got the 2 main Elimination Chamber matches. Mm-hmm. You've got Sammy and Roman. I think that's it, right? Am I missing something?
No, that's why I'm like,
yeah. So you're going to want something else in there somewhere. Maybe Gunther and Mad Cat.
Maybe that.
We'll throw the Intercontinental title on there.
Yeah. So you could potentially end up with a new U.S. champion, new Intercontinental champion.
No, I don't see Gunther losing.
And then you won't have
Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. I think they're putting that on Elimination Chamber.
So that'll be a good one, but you won't have a tag team match because they'll have the finals on Monday for Monday Night Raw. So yeah, I mean, do you try and get another match on because you're in Montreal? Does Trish somehow make the card?
That's right, because she's going to be on Raw on Monday.
Yeah. Or does she just show up and then gets herself on the card for WrestleMania? And so then you'd have Lita against Bayley, or maybe they do a 3-way with Trish, Lita, and Becky against Damage Control. But then...
No, I think you're going to have... maybe that's what they'll set up is the women's tag team. You'll have Ronda and Shayna Baszler go after them, maybe on the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah,
that'd be a quick setup. That's a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I think.
Maybe you drag that out to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so somehow, they'll set up the six-way Damage Control against Becky, Lita, and Trish. And then somehow Ronda and Baszler get themselves involved. Maybe at the end they attack them, or they do something, and then they end up getting a women's tag team match. I don't know.
Yeah. So. Who knows? Not sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Friday, though, Friday was a tough one because you had a really good Monday, a really good Wednesday. A lot of really good promos, a lot of fun on the social media.
Yep.
So your expectations are high for Friday, and you're building to a pay-per-view, and you know that Heyman is going to be on there, so he's going to carry one segment, and then Sammy and Heyman have a decent promo, but it wasn't really good until he pulled him in, but then he's yelling in the microphone. So it was like, what would have been really cool is if he would have gotten loud and then pulled him in and then said something quietly.
Quietly, yeah.
And then, but at the end, how Heyman was left picking up the belts, kind of disheveled almost. I thought that was a cool production touch to close out that piece. So.
Cool. And then we had Rampage.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Rampage is hit or miss, man. They'll go a couple weeks and have these bangers, and then they have 2 shows in a row now where I've been completely unimpressed. The only thing that even sticks out in my mind, and again, I've watched it twice, is the Mark Briscoe stuff. That's the only thing I was like, all right, I really enjoyed this. That's worth talking about. Everything else was just filler. I just felt like nothing was nothing. There wasn't a whole lot to it. I was very disappointed in Rampage, which being the AEW guy is rough. So
yeah, I thought the crowd was really good. I think this is like 3 episodes in a row, whether it was AEW or WWE, that they were in Texas. So you had like the Alamo, San Antonio, El Paso. The crowd was really, really good, and then they roll right into a 6-man, and anytime you get Mox on TV is good. But then you bring Claudio in, and it's like, all right, cool, good to see you, man. Good to see you, champ. And you remember, wait a minute, he's the Ring of Honor champion, and
Yuta was there too.
Yeah,
but again, like that says something of the fact that even that didn't save the show for me. Like I'm a big Mox fan, I'm a big Claudio fan, actually Blackpool Comic Club, and even that didn't save it for me. I was just like, all right, where's the story? What are we doing next? Now, are they setting them up to maybe start going against? Like, I can see what Tony's doing. He's trying to bring back his trios stuff because we've got trios champions now, but there's not as many trios as there was originally. So I can see him setting things up, and I think that's great because you could set up some really good stuff. I think Sammy Guevara sent out a picture of Trace Sex Gods, and it was him, Garcia, and Jericho with the belts, and I'm like, now that's a program I'd like to see. I'd like to see those three in the Young Bucks and Omega. So, but
that'd be a lot of
Blackpool.
fun.
I don't think we're done with the Hangman Page Moxley thing yet. So I think that's going to come to play. Even in the promo they cut later on in the show, Hangman even mentioned the fact that he's not quite done with it yet. So,
that'll be some unfinished business. Do they? You got Top Flight and Fox as another trios that are kind of showing some life. I like how the WWE is sort of focusing on tag team. AEW is focusing on trios and building stars and telling good stories. And maybe I'm wondering if Rampage just suffered a little bit because of how good that MJF promo was. And
maybe
we're just like, man, how do you top that? I don't know because if you look at the card for Wednesday's Dynamite coming up, there's nothing on that card that I'm excited to see either. Not that it's saying it's not going to be great. Not that I'm saying it's going to not be an enjoyable card. But the matches they've let out, I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but none of them were like, oh, I really got to see that. Right.
Like Jungle Boy and Christian Cage. Okay.
Yeah.
Not Christian Cage. Brian Cage, sorry. Christian Cage would be a whole different thing.
I totally
Brian
agree
Cage.
with you too. I was like, oh, man, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, because that one would be awesome because that would be a payoff to the feud that they started that, unfortunately, due to his injury, they couldn't finish. Christian Cage injury, that is. So, but there wasn't anything else on the show that I was like, was it Kip Sabian and Hangman? I don't care. Again, I think that's just going to be a device to forward the Hangman Mox thing, which I think they'll take to the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson is not supposed to be in action. We'll hear from Bryan Danielson, I think is what it said. I can't think of anything else that we got going into Dynamite. But as far as Rampage goes, too, again, just kind of sat there and watching it. Now, I appreciate it's an hour show, so it goes by quick. But I think the highlight of Friday, for me at least, was Mark Briscoe. Him and that promo and his facials. And I think I tweeted out that, all right, I have my new favorite to take the title away from MJF. Like, I want it to be Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, he laid some really, really good groundwork. I'm trying to figure out what Darby and Sting, what their promo was telling us.
We're going to go out in a blaze of glory.
I don't know if they're going to try and do some Stinger suicide dive match to end Stinger's career or whatever, but I still believe
I still believe they're setting up for Sting and Darby in his retirement match. I don't know whether it's going to be them just training for it and then him just looking at him saying, all right, I want you to, this will be it. Or if they're going to come back and maybe get a third and go after trios. I don't know.
It would be the third one though, but yeah, I think you're right. Darby will be the one to get some good business with Sting. Darby's already a made man. He's one of the pillars.
Yep.
And once Stinger is out, I wouldn't know where, maybe he turns into sort of this lone wolf kind of character like Sting did for a minute there when he was black and white. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Now, I trust AEW to let it all play out, so we'll see what they do. Yeah. But overall, I wasn't excited about either Friday show, which is a shame because usually I like one of the two. and ended my weekend sad because neither was good. So hopefully the New Japan will be a good one, so I can watch that before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I got so distracted while I was watching, I started looking up who made the title belts.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow, this is really cool. What's the history of the All-Atlantic title? So I started looking that up, and Dave Milliken was the one who actually made the All-Atlantic title.
Oh, okay.
He made the first iteration and refurbished the current AEW title. And he called the AEW title, that beauty that's over your left shoulder there.
It's really hard to do in backwards there.
He called that his greatest work.
Really? That's one of my favorite titles.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm an AEW fan. It reminds me of the Big Gold from WCW.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what it reminds me of, and I liked it. I liked it, the Big Gold, and so, that's one of my favorite titles.
Yeah.
And then I got this cool... I had that cool dolphin one that somebody gave me, too. That's another one that I got on my...
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So the Big Gold reminds me of that beauty there, the Mid-South North American
the Mid-South
title.
Was a nice one, too. Yeah.
And if you look at the All-Atlantic and the women's title, it's got the 4 buttons, just like the Mid-South.
Oh, yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, if it worked back then, why can't it work now? But I will tell you, the detail in that All-Atlantic title. Woo.
That's a gorgeous title.
Yeah.
I need them to put that one on replica sale so I can grab it like I did that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get used to this backward camera thing.
It's got to be your military, right?
Yeah.
So what it was? Oh, the All-Atlantic title. Sorry. The All-Atlantic title, those 4 flags represent 130 different countries. And the whole idea of that title was because his roster was filled with so many international stars. He wanted to represent their countries and give them an opportunity to win a title to take back to their country. So
that's cool.
Kudos to Khan for having some forward thinking on what his roster actually represents. So that's pretty neat. So, but so we had a bunch of matches. We had a promo. It was an hour long. Had some good commercials. Made me think I can't wait for the Super Bowl. And my team isn't even in it, but some of the commercials were good. And then Jungle Boy had a match with somebody. And then,
Brian
the
Cage came out and just kind of pointed at him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but the Briscoe storyline, that'll be a lot of fun. And I'm really proud of people in general because, Briscoe made a mistake. He said some stuff that he probably wish he wouldn't have.
Right.
And
talking about Jay Briscoe.
Right.
Yeah.
And probably regretted it the minute it passed his face. And for that reason, they didn't want to commemorate what he did, but to see the opportunity that his brother is getting now.
Yep.
I really hope that it flourishes into something. And if he doesn't head over to Ring of Honor, I'd really like to see him, like you said, I'd really like to see him in an AEW storyline.
Yeah.
Because he's got a lot to offer. So.
Yeah, I mean, just that character in general, like his facials and everything with that promo. Like, I just want to see that on TV more often. It made me smile, especially knowing everything he's gone through in the past 2 or 3 weeks. Like, it was just really good.
Yeah, all right, man. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, SmackDown. How many beards you give in SmackDown?
Hey, man. I got to give it 2.5. And that's being gracious. They had a good promo. The crowd was really good. And that was about the only thing that saved it.
Yeah, I was going about 2.5 myself.
Yeah.
Wasn't very excited. Picked up a comic book and started reading while it was on. So, yeah, it didn't hold my attention. So, yeah, I'd go probably a 2. 2 from me.
Yeah.
And then as far as Rampage goes, I am going to go with probably a 2 also.
Likewise,
one good promo, an okay match, but nothing major.
Yeah. Yeah, 2 beards from ElliJare is the best I can do.
Yeah, there you go. So, well, you know what? I don't have the tallies in front of me. We need to start tallying them so we can say who the winner of the week is. I'm pretty sure my winner of the week was still AEW because of Dynamite was so high.
Yeah, I think. I think
yours
right.
was WWE,
and only by a half a beard.
Yeah,
and,
I was gonna say by a mustache.
Just a couple of hairs,
just the goatee part.
Yeah,
but, all right, man. Well, this has been good. Enjoy the wrap up. Kind of going over it. We will get better as these go on. This was just a rough Friday for me. I need to figure out why my DVR didn't record so I can get a little more detail going in.
Yeah.
Gonna ask Jared now live. He didn't know I was gonna do this. What do you think about doing a live feed for Elimination Chamber?
Man, I'm in, man. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Get a lot of really good live reaction, and especially when those swerves hit. I love when we're just like, just suspended belief. You're just, what on earth? I love it.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, let's think. I was thinking we'd do our first ones for WrestleMania, but I think Elimination Chamber would be a cool one to start with.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Do a little live. Yeah, do a little live run on that and see what we can do with it. So that'll be cool.
Good, man.
All right. Well,
all right.
I was gonna say I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, thank you everybody for joining us here in our individual caves. Very proud of Jay Tilly and I, what we got going on. Thank you so much for your kind words and the emails and the messages. Means a lot. So really appreciate it. On behalf of ElliJare,
Jay Tilly,
we will see you on the floor.